Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Fox is bringing Jonathan Larson's groundbreaking Pulitzer Prize-winning musical Rent to television on January 27th, and we're here on the Fox lot where we caught up with the cast and creative team.
It's always challenging to come into work with such passionate followers and to do it justice well. And I really think one of the blessings that we have is to be working with Michael, who's the original stage director on this. And so the viewers who are already familiar with the work, who might have seen it in the theater, wherever in the world, can be secure in knowing that those moments are rightly and truly portrayed, that they love, and yet we also have a responsibility to bring it to a whole new audience and to a new demographic of people.
I think what makes this so special, this is meant to be an immersive happening. Each of these shows demanded we find their own language. Grease was kind of a party and everybody was invited, and Superstar was a concert. Rent is a bunch of people in a space making something together, and the lines between audience and cast might even be a little bit more fluid, and hopefully we can deliver something unique and special to Rent.
Where did your history with Rent begin?
I've been familiar with the music for, as long as I can remember, because there's just such amazing songs. I really kind of got to know the musical on a little deeper level when the movie kind of came out, maybe around, I want to say when I was like middle school or early high school, and this has just been a completely different relationship with Rent. So I've just got to know it on a completely new level.
I did Rent like almost 10 years ago, and I was unfamiliar to the show when I first got cast in it. Obviously learned it through doing it, but taking a step away and coming back to it and realizing how much of a super fan I am of the musical, and how I still knew all the words to all the songs, and how I am just living my best life through just watching my castmates do their job is, it feels good in my heart.
My best friend Randy Sanders, who we were in bands together growing up, he's a die-hard Rent head. So I actually used to make fun of him in high school because he was so obsessed, and I knew nothing about it. And so we were actually doing a show in New York City, unrelated, and he's like, okay, here's our opportunity. We're going to go see Rent. And my wife was there at the time, so he's like, I'm going to get you guys tickets, we're going to go see it, and you'll see what all the fuss is about. So we went for my first Broadway experience, and it's all Rent, 2006, and I was like, I get it. I get your obsession, and I've been a huge fan ever since.
I went to the audition, did terrible, didn't even hit not one note, but they seemed to like me. I don't even know how I got this role. Are you guys sure? Anyway, I did the next audition, maybe hit the note maybe a little bit better, but didn't even really hit it. They somehow liked it. By the time I got to the last audition, I was hitting the notes, but I was really, really just like, listen, I want to take this role on, and I can give you all that I have and all that I am in the preparation so that I can really learn everything so that I can deliver. But if you guys believe in me, I got this, and I'll do it. And it is going to be the one. No, really, this man here really believed in me.
It was the one. I'm really overwhelmed with joy because coming from Baltimore, Maryland, growing up there in a poverty-stricken area where I saw drugs and where I saw all these different, obstacles that people were going through, moving away and coming back with this understanding of, okay, I can actually add value to this area. I can actually help bring a more positive perspective to these kids, to the youth. And I feel like Benny has that same place somewhere in his heart, past the ego and the assertiveness. And that's what made me love the character the most. And then after that, just the whole story and, the cast and the people that are involved. It's amazing.
I think the most brilliant part about theater, and well-written theater, well-cast theater, well-directed theater, is that if it's going to be real, then we all have to find something new within ourselves, within the character, within the story, in order to share something with our audience, right? And I think we're all finding unique challenges in finding our family and finding our way through the story that is going to be really wonderful to share with everybody.
This cast is completely electrifying and beautiful, and I have an ensemble of 14, which is the biggest ensemble in Rent, which is incredible. They just elevate it even more and elevate the New York life, the New York artist life even more. All of them are willing and want this so badly in terms of wanting to execute, and they have such desire every day. It's really been a fulfilling experience every day.
I first did Rent 20 years ago in 1999. I took over as the MD on the Second National Tour. So, and then after that, I got the privilege of orchestrating and arranging Tick, Tick, Boom off Broadway. So to come back to Jonathan's work and to be with his family, who have been my family over the years for so, it's really emotional and really quite beautiful. And I'm thrilled to kind of show the world this new iteration.
What is it like for the three of you to be reunited for this glorious new production?
It's a dream come true. It's phenomenal. I love the show so much. So to have the chance and the privilege to look at it new in a new environment and a new media is just fantastic. And to work with Michael again is unbelievable.
There aren't words to articulate really how deeply felt it is for my family to know that we are moving forward in a whole new medium, but doing it with Michael and Angela and Bernie and some of the original creators who worked with my brother to create this world, and now have an opportunity with another generation or two new generations of young people to expand that world and make it relevant for 2019 and still keep it organic and honest to where it started.
It's because I think Jonathan wrote this in a response to seeing his beloved community being threatened. I think that it was always really like a cry from the heart about how can we stand together, fight against this, and be there for one another and love and support one another. And as Julie says, how do we define ourselves? How do we find ourselves, and how do we find our best selves? And how do we see that we find our best selves by taking care of each other in the best ways?
What's it been like being in the room with Michael Greif, the original director? What's that been like for you?
It's emotional, I think, is a good word, because he has all of these stories and things that he's always wanted to maybe elaborate on more, things that he realizes, the audience isn't picking up on that. Now I can show it in other ways. We have surprises. I can't say anything, but there's all of these things that he has always wanted to do and just, couldn't on the stage, and now he gets to.
I think the thing that makes this production of Rent even more special is A, the fact that we have him, but B, because of our resources, are able to bring ideas that he has had in the past into fruition. So it's even bigger, it's even better. It's not reimagined, but it's definitely being taken to a more elevated level.
It is still Rent. It's still the show that we all know and love, but shown in a very specific way. Obviously, it's primetime television. Obviously, there are some things that are going to have to be done in a very different way to be able to get the point across and still have the essence of Rent and what you want in this La Vie Boheme kind of nature and lifestyle. And Michael and Sonia Taya and the rest of the creative team have done an amazing job at creating a very specific language where this is concerned, but it's still Mark and Roger and Mimi and Maureen and Joanne and Angel and Collins and Benny and their community and building their community, loving one another, dealing with a very traumatic, epidemic that's happening, especially in the late 80s, early 90s, when it was so fresh and it was so new and people were still so unaware of how to deal with it and how to cope with it. And it was basically a death sentence. And how do you get through that? Compassion, love. That's what we're founded on.
More things are coming to life, and also the incredible, gifted, talented cast members around me are also bringing new things through the story to life. So, and we're shaping the show. Like, the thing is, you have to make the story clear for this medium, right? So we're shaping. So I think it's gonna be the best version of Rent that the world has seen yet.